Greetings, brethren, Hausburger Donkey here, and we are onto the shields. I wanted to just show you where we are at with the based troops at the moment. As you can see, I painted the rim of the base black after putting on the sand. They are not varnished yet, but they will be varnished as they are, and then after I varnish them, I'm going to put on the tufts. The varnishing obviously is there to kind of tone down any of the washes that we might still have, because some of them might be a bit shiny or a bit more matte than the rest, so we just want one even finish across the miniature. And I would definitely not skip the varnishing stage, even if they're plastic miniatures and you're not doing it really to protect them really, because the paint isn't really going to chip that much from plastic miniatures. But I would still do it just to give them a really nice even finish. And it also will help with keeping all the basing stuff on the base. Right, so onto the shields. I can't really show you the full process of how it goes, because once I got into it, I just kind of did all the shields, because I find doing these shield transfers incredibly tedious. So I just kind of worked my way through them really quickly. Yeah, so they are the shield transfers from Little Big Man Studios. They're pretty easy to use. Actually, I'm just gonna pull out this one. I'm not gonna put it on anything, but let me just adjust the camera so you can see. There you go. And what you do is, as it is on that sheet, you just cut out. Already screwed it up a bit. You cut out the transfer. It's better to cut out a little bit more than less, because if you cut out less, well, you're missing some of the actual transfer, and if you cut out more, the area around it isn't white, it's clear. So, destroyed that a little bit. It's kind of hard to do this around the camera. Anyway, you cut it out, and then what you do, I'm just gonna stick this. I don't know where I'm gonna stick this. Anyway, there's a foil on top of the transfer, as you can see. Yeah, there you go. There's a foil, and you peel that off, and then this top side with the pattern on it is sticky, and you stick that on the shield. In this case, I don't have a shield, so we'll just stick it on the back of this. Alright, like so. And then you grab a brush, put it in some water so that it's wet, and then you just wet the back of the transfer, like so. Nice and soaked through. I'm gonna try and not get it on the other thing so that it peels off better. And then you wait, I don't know, it doesn't take that long, maybe 20 seconds, and then you can peel that straight off. Let's see, does it already work? Yep, there we go. As you can see, now we have the paper off, and it's just the patterned piece of clear foil, and you just stick that on your shields, and then it looks like this. In this case, it's a little bit more annoying, because for each shield, it was two parts, a left and a right side, and as you can see, there are bits that are still white in some corners and on the side of the shield, and most importantly, this ridge here in the middle. So we need to paint that in, and the way I'm doing that is, because it's just super easy and a big cheat, I'm going to do that with contrast paints. I figured out that for the yellow and red shields that I bought, I'll just show you the red shields, there you go. These are the two types of shields that I have for all the normal troops. And then I had one pack of mixed ones for the Triarii, and I sort of separated them to have one for this one goes with the yellow unit, because I have all the yellow shields, and then blue and black ones. And this one has reds and browns, and one black, and that goes with the red shields. So, yeah, they're still kind of coherent within their maniple, but they just have different shields, and that kind of lets them stand out a bit more. But yeah, for the yellow shields, all you really need to do is get the contrast color Iyanden Yellow, like so. And then we need a brush that we don't mind ruining. That will be this one. Somewhat fine-tipped for this particular job, because we're doing some, like, we're not just slopping on the contrast, we're sort of finely painting it on. So we're gonna use this shield here as an example. I'm just gonna paint all the white areas that are still remaining with the Iyanden Yellow. Sorry, my hand was in the way there. Like so. There we go. A little bit more there. And then here on the side, because there's no sticker on the side of the shield. Just, oop. Right there. All right, and now that's done. As you can see, hopefully, I don't know if you can, but some of these are also different, slightly different hues of yellow. So this one is a little bit darker. On this one, this is probably one of the lightest ones. I'm probably only going to do this one coat of Iyanden Yellow, because I think that's good enough. Like so. But if I do this one, I might go over it again, because I think one coat might be a bit too bright on this one. Just make sure I'm not painting over any of the other parts. No, actually I think one coat might be fine on this one as well. Right. Nah, I'm gonna do a second one on this one. As you can see, I think that's a bit too bright. Doesn't work quite as well. So I'm gonna go over that again at the end. But yeah, I'll go through all the shields and put the contrast on all the white bits. And then after that, the shields are done. And these will definitely need a varnish. As you can see, they're incredibly shiny. But once they're varnished, I'll clip them off the sprue, and I probably won't do anything because the plastic is about the same color as the metal, so there will be a little bit of a blip around it, but I just don't care that much. I don't think you're gonna see it. Yeah, so they look like this, the shields. Let me actually show you on one of the red ones. I also did it with the red. Yep, there we go. Here, as you can see, this is also contrast paint, and in this case it is Blood Angels Red. I think this was also 2 coats though, so yeah, might have to make sure that it's not too bright on one coat and maybe do a second one. But I think this looks really good, and once it's varnished and it'll all have the same finish, you won't even really notice it. So yeah, that's how I do the shields. Super simple, not too much work invested, because I think it's not necessary. With the cool transfers from Little Big Man, they'll draw the eye enough, and you know, as long as everything else is sort of painted, it'll be fine. And we'll see that at the end when I do the final reveal. On these, I'm probably going to use some different contrast paints. I have picked out for the blue shields Leviathan Blue, because it's the only other blue I have. For the black ones, I'm going to use Black Templar. There's a few brown ones on the red sprue, like this one. Because it's sort of a reddish brown, I'm going to use Cygor Brown and water that down a little bit. And that should cover most of them. I think this one, because it has this sort of white pattern toward the center, I think I'm actually just going to leave it white. I think it actually looks fine the way it is. So yeah, and might do the same on this one actually. I think these two might look fine with the white ridge. But all the other ones I'm gonna do the contrast paint. All right. Hope you enjoyed that. After this, I'm just gonna varnish all the infantry bases. Let me just show you another one. All the infantry bases are gonna get varnished. All the shields are gonna get varnished, and then I'm taking the shields off the sprues, super gluing them on the figures. Do use super glue and not plastic glue, because plastic glue, after all the painting and all the varnishing, it just, one, it doesn't work as well. Two, it makes everything really messy. So super glue is just the better choice. Just don't use too much super glue so it doesn't cloud or anything. Yeah, and that's that. And then we'll have the final reveal of the entire 2 maniples of Romans that I painted in under 30 hours. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in that last video. Take care, guys.